£500,000 fraud. Kidnap. He was in prison for murder.
We don't work with some dealers because of that.
They wouldn't pay £1.
We're selling cars on Instagram.
Yeah.
Social media is definitely the way you need to be.
That's all online. That didn't work.
If I would buy a car, I would still want to go and touch it, see it, feel it. The dealer couldn't have done anything else. It was identity theft. Things change, and I need to make sure that we're changing with what the change needs to be.
We have got Laura Jones from DSG. How do you guys help the dealers with the challenges?
It depends what the challenge is, John. Sometimes, you have to walk away and
Yeah.
say, your opinion, my opinion, or the company's opinion, and the lender, and as a whole collective industry isn't the same here. And do you know what? We don't work with some dealers because of that.
Yeah, well, as I say, sometimes the best deals are the ones you don't do.
Yeah. And again, that's, it's learning, and it's going, I don't want to take that risk. That risk is too high for us. Sometimes we'll take massive risks with new business setups, working with people that, don't have accounts and stuff, but might have had experience in the industry, and we'll work with them like that. But yeah, it's definitely...
So is there a certain onboarding process for that and criteria for that?
We have a really clear onboarding, yeah.
Does a dealer have to be trading for X amount of time? Or?
Yeah, so generally speaking, and our onboarding is 9 times out of 10 done with AI, which is incredible, because it used to be so much going, that I would have to come and ask you loads of questions. Sometimes it's quite personal for a dealer. And they might go, well, I deal with X, Y, and Z, so that's fine. You think, okay, we have to do our due diligence. Yeah. We represent our lenders. Yeah. And like you were saying, you don't have people on the ground. A lot of our lenders don't. Yeah. And I think that's why they trust us, because our onboarding, so we'll check criminal records. I mean, we've had the most craziest,
criminal records. You won't beat ours. We've had.
Go on, hit me with yours.
The one I always thought was never going to be beaten was when somebody said he got done for attempted kidnap, and I went, how can you attempt to kidnap someone? You either kidnap them or you don't, right? So that was one. And then we had one guy ring us, and he's like, I want you to do a limited permission application for us. And we said, have you got a criminal record? He went, well, I've just come out of prison. And we're like, okay, what for? He went, it was £500,000 fraud. And we went, okay, you're not going to get on board with that. He went, yeah, but I was in prison for murder. Yeah, we just told him not to waste his money.
I think...
Will that be beaten?
It's incredible.
They got some seriously good software these days, and they really get some good stuff.
But yeah, our onboarding, so we'll check where do they trade? Do they have a premises?
I'm a home trader.
Yeah, that's another one that sometimes we go, hang on a minute, and look, everybody's got their own risk and appetite for who they want to work with, and that's fine. But some people work in their home, and do you know what? It's a bloody stately manner. You drive down a mile
the way I say
drive.
The way I say it, you've got kind of two types of home trader. You've got somebody who lives on number 34 Mount Pleasant Street, right? And he's in the middle of a terraced house, and he's got 15 cars up the road, yeah? And then you've got Tom Hartley.
And also, you go to Northern Ireland, I'd probably say 60%, because, they work on the land, they've got units on there. They are classed as home traders.
Yeah,
it's very
different. Clear signage is the thing.
And that is it. Signage, what's the reputation like? Google reviews, what's the net worth like? Are they on any, do not deal lists that we're aware of? Because, of course, you have to be really careful there. Have we dealt with any of their names before? Do we recognise anybody's name? So yeah, it's a massive process that we do.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask about fraud. What is that like now? Because especially after COVID, was it a rise in fraud? Do you think? Do you think they got more technically better at it?
Again, they're using technology that, like everything, constantly fighting against, John. So, we do work with a lot of companies to make sure that we identify the customer, on FIDO, stuff like that technology, to do voice recognition, sound recognition. But yeah, we've had some incidents where, there was one time, I won't go into it, the dealer couldn't have done anything else. It was identity theft. And we'd even spoken to the pilot. He was a pilot. He said he was a pilot. And as we phoned him, you can hear in the background going, last call for EZY1732. And you're thinking, oh, he's at the airport.
Yeah.
Oh, he's definitely a pilot. What then you don't think is, what's the pilot doing in the departure lounge? But actually, it was just a setup. And that car was in Mayfair. They'd taken that car. Now, luckily, they'd dropped an air tag out of his gym bag. The owner that had it, it was his car that he'd sold. And we managed to trace it. Could we get anybody to help us? No. So we all got home, we barricaded the car, and the dealer took it away. Luckily, pulled it onto a low loader. But
what do you mean nobody would help you? So like the police or nobody?
not interested,
Really?
honestly.
Why not? That's their job, isn't it?
No.
Christ almighty.
They'll put markers out on it, but by the time we'd found this car, it got, and I mean, I'm talking, we got to within 5 hours, we knew something was wrong. The lender had sort of said, I think something's wrong. So then we're like, what do we do? And it's like, well.
So is it taking up more of your time, the fraud side of it, or?
Do you know, in all honesty, and again, this is where, you know, sometimes this can really frustrate our dealers, and I get it. We check, double check. The lady that oversees our operations, she's been with us for 20 years. If she smells something that's wrong, it's 9 times out of 10 something's wrong. So we'll just completely stop it and drill it down. Touch wood, we're very, very, very lucky just because of our due diligence and technology that we use to identify it. But is it on the rise? You're damn right it is, John. But it's also on the rise with some dealers.
Well, the thing with dealers is, do they help themselves? Again, it goes back to, I use the Drive app. We charge £1 for a verification, or used to charge £1 for a verification of that driving licence, with a likeness, with a liveness, clear data, can send it to our system, can send it to you guys. I think we got partial integration with Motor Sales AI. I know we started it.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't pay £1.
Do you know why I think that is, John? It's that, you know, until like you lose a loved one, we're talking about that. It's always that it'll never happen to me. I know what I'm doing, and I respect that. You know, there are some incredible processes in these independents and the main dealer network, but they all get targeted, and until they see financial whack out of their pocket, I think that's when they'll look to change.
Yeah, well, it fried our brains. You know, we got this amazing product here, and nobody wants to pay £1 for a test drive to, you know, stop that risk. Now it's like 15 quid a month, and you can have as many as they like. Little plug there for the Drive app. You can have the free Drive app with the new game, Shoot the Screen.
I actually played this last night. He didn't really give me clear instructions on how it worked, but I just started shooting the screen, and honestly...
You got up to level 2, didn't you?
I got to level 2. Woo, I'm definitely going to be playing that.
I think you've just had a new tech come into DSG, yeah?
Yeah, so...
Well, how's that going? How's the implementation for it? Because that's never easy.
We're always looking at tech. We're working very closely. We've got lots of stuff going on with Motor Sales AI. Got some new products coming very soon, which we're super excited about. We've got a new product manager, Vicky Dowdall, who's very experienced with third-party integrations and how we can make that slicker, because that's a big thing. Our portal vision that we use is incredible, and we'd like to do a lot more with that, enhance it. So yeah, we are always looking at whether that's investing in businesses, collaborating with businesses, or improving our own is a big thing, because technology is the forefront.
Absolutely.
You know, AI, or I mean, I still...
How are you finding AI?
Buzzard. Yeah, look, like I said earlier, I'm a simple salesperson. You have to embrace these things. You have to try. And if you don't change, you know, sometimes you say, well, if it's not broken, don't try and fix it.
Yeah.
But you do have to evolve. And buying a car, how I would buy a car, I would still want to go and touch it, see it, feel it. You know,
I think that's always going to be the case.
But it isn't, John. We're seeing more and more, especially, you know, maybe 20 to 30-year-olds. Nobody's got time anymore. We're too busy doom scrolling. You know, everybody's Dr. Google. They know their rights. So, yeah, a lot more online. You know, Instagram, we're selling cars on Instagram.
Yeah, TikTok, maybe?
We don't do as much on TikTok, but, you know, it's an eye-opener on how people buy cars. So you do have to be really savvy, and social media is definitely the way you need to be.
See, I look at, you know, what was the big car one, the disruptor, the online, who's just gone? I can't even remember. Kazoo. You know, that's all online. That didn't work.
But some of them do. You know,
like
cinch.
Is it working though?
Yes.
Losses of like 180 million.
I can only go on the finance processes. One of the largest broker, they process that, and I know it's quite a lot that they do. I think it's a big business.
I don't know. I always think that somebody, especially the used car market, maybe the brand new cars, it's you could buy it without seeing it, but I still think it's a touch it, feel it.
I think if some people have tried it, definitely. Some of our dealers will definitely still continue to do it. We have, if we do a distance sale, we go above and beyond to know that customer because, oh my God, I couldn't sleep at night with some of the stuff we've come across.
So if you could change one thing, what would it be?
Car dealers. No, not really. What would I change? Gosh. What would I change? I would probably change the Consumer Credit Act.
Oh, right, okay.
Because I think it's that far out of date and it's not fair, in my personal opinion. And I'd also change Dr. Google because I just think that should be banned for some things that you just don't need to spend your life reading nonsense, fake news.
There's a lot of it, Yeah, it's a good point. Do you think that, customers are, I wouldn't say more well-equipped, but maybe ill-advised with a lot of things about their rights, and they look at certain parts of that, and then that causes problems. Maybe dealers don't understand, the Consumer Credit Act or whatever, CRA 2015, all these kind of things.
But it's like, the FCA say it's your own interpretations.
I know,
that's the problem.
Yeah, tell me about
is your opinion to my opinion. We could all get a customer's application here, everybody in the room, and we would probably all have a different opinion on it because that's what we are as humans. So that's why you need, especially technology and clear processes. You have to have a boundary of that is what is right and that isn't. So, for example, underwriting. The amount of times an external go, oh, but they sent it to such and such and they got accepted with them. Well, that's them. We have really strict KPIs with our lenders. We have to have an efficiency to make sure we're not being detrimental to, the customer. And it's just, I think interpretations on anything, it's just the nature of human being, isn't it?
I think you've done phenomenally well. I do.
You're really kind.
You've always come across as, very committed. Your industry. Your staff. You care about your company so much.
They're my everything.
Yeah, but that comes across.
DSG changed my life.
Yeah, and that comes across, and that's phenomenal. And you take no shit. I like that.
There is times that I do not like playing the bad cop, and I try my best not to. If we're any of the, especially sort of our regional managers are having a tough time with their teams and they need to blow, I will try my best to keep calm and whatever. But I love it. Yeah. It's my everything there.
Yeah.
And I think that's why sometimes when it's great, it's amazing, and when it's bad, like I've said to you, I have had some roller coasters. Who hasn't with their career? It really does knock you, and that's just because I love it.
It's the fun of building this company and what we can get out of it and what we can do next and what's coming next.
I think I love that, and I suppose a lot of anybody that's watching this who has built their own business from nothing, who has gone through maybe dark, challenging days, maybe launched something that didn't quite work and not given up. That's what makes me the proudest. Is even though like the DSG group has been going since 98, so 35 years. Aren't
you the longest established broker in the UK?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so, but I don't want to, just in case I get it wrong and get any complaints. So 98 was officially when Richard and Mark.
Wow, a year after I started selling cars.
I was 2002. Yeah, but I think for me, I'd worked with DSG, and whilst, of course, it is our stakeholders' business, for somebody to give me an opportunity to trust me is so humbling and a privilege that I've worked really hard, but also everybody in the team works really, really hard. And
Well, that's great that you've built that culture. You know, I mean, it's hard, and again, we have Julie working for us, and we can just leave her to it. We have that trust in her to get that. When it's your own company, you're handing over the keys to someone else.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. And you know, to be fair to the business, I suppose they did completely go, not you're on your own, but that it was basically is there's the marketing, there's the budget, there's the baby. Don't bring it back until it walks.
I bet recruiting was hard though.
Oh, I kissed a lot of frogs. Yeah, obviously Luke. I knew Luke from Renault Retail down here when I used to cover being a regional. He was a business manager at Cardiff. So I sort of already knew that Luke, I would really want him to be on the team, that he'd be excellent at that job.
He's a very good asset, yes, to that company. He's very, very good. Like, sorry, Luke, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, but he is, of all the reps that I've met over the years, Luke's probably the best I've ever, apart from myself, of course. But
Luke to me is your
great.
Nick.
Yeah.
So yesterday when I got stranded in the middle of mid Wales, I got 1 bar of signal. I didn't know where I was. I needed the toilet.
And you thought I was being passive aggressive.
I thought you were being really passive aggressive. He was.
I was not.
He was. Took me 9 hours to get here. Got to be in, like I say, the Caribbean. The first person I go to for help is Luke.
Yeah.
You know, this morning I'll have spoken to Luke. I know if I was to leave tomorrow, Luke could.
Yeah.
And what's lovely is whilst we've got really hungry salespeople that want to progress in their career, they would also make sure that they were the foundations to support Luke, and then obviously that natural progression for everybody. There's just, I think, respect. Yeah. Respect each other.
That's nice to have.
Definitely. I mean, look, we went on a team building day. My bruising's a lot better than it was, but you know, we do that once a year. We get together. I try and speak to them as much as I can. I try and get out on the road with them. We all go out dual call in together. So, you know, you'll see the regionals out with.
Do you find out on the road is very different now to what it used to be from when you first started?
Massively. I mean, honestly, John, I knew. So when I was out on the road, I was in my car at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew at 5 past or 10 past 8, Mr. Gow was going to be phoning me, and I'd be all pumped up, ready to go, and I'd be out 5 days a week, 8, and I'd be getting in at maybe about 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, depending on where I was in the country. Now, you turn up at a dealership at 9:15, when he's probably not even out of bed.
Yeah.
He thinks you're absolutely cuckoo. And also, you can't do this job 5 days a week out on the road. I believe we do have, when you get to certain levels where you're doing sort of a certain amount of businesses and deal with a certain amount of dealers, you do have to have that work from home. And COVID changed that. Yeah. You know, as a total business, we do have more working from home. Don't get me wrong. I believe we are social butterflies and should be together. That's our job as salespeople. Yep. So you're either on the phone or you're seeing people. Yep. But yeah, so it's definitely changed a lot more. We would probably maybe do 8 dealer visits a day. We would probably start a bit later on in the day. Might finish a bit later, might not. You might not see them all. I
think, going back to being a rep as well, what people do not realise.
Hate that word.
Sorry. Whatever. Field sales then. Going back into being field sales is the discipline that you have to have. And I don't think people realise that. You know, working from home. I work from home. You know, I'd have to fill in my CRM. I'd have to make all my paperwork. I'd have to plan the month, plan the week, whatever. Everything had to be planned. You knew what you had to say. You knew where you had to do. You knew what had to be involved in that call you were going to make. If you don't do that, you start the day, where is it going to take me? You're fucked.
What a great point. So that's probably one of the biggest things and challenges that we have when people join us from the motor trade. Because when you've come from the motor trade, you know, you were probably there at 8:45 in the morning, boots up, balloons blown up. You got all your sales diary. Everything was lined up properly. You were in your sales manager's office. You were going through the appointments, what had happened yesterday. He was going through everything to cross-check. You know, sales diaries were being chucked everywhere and all of this. And when you come here, you don't have that. You are actually treated like an adult. So, for example, we don't have trackers on cars or anything like that. Yes, of course, we have to have a CRM system. Yeah. We have a database that needs to be filled out, which again, you know, salespeople sometimes still...
Again,
It's just like
got to do
It's for you. It helps you. It tells
Nick
you all.
MacDonald was the worst. He would always be a week or two behind with us.
But I'll get like, why have you not filled out the system? And I'll go, I'll do it at the end of the month. You're not dealing with enough dealers then. How can you remember? I can't remember what I did yesterday morning.
Every day.
I have to have a to-do list. So yeah, we try and make 2 weeks ahead. One of my interview questions is, if you're in the north of your area and a dealer in the south said to you, come and pop this deal, I've sent it everywhere, it's been declining, it was a 2.5 hour drive, what would you do? And if people go, I'd leave the area and drive there, it's like, no, why? Why would you?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because again,
What's your worth?
Yeah, when I worked at First Response, when we first started, we had checkbooks, right? So we'd have to give the check to the dealer. So I'd be in Swansea, and then the office would ring me up and say, Birch car sales in Barry need to be paid out. Can you go and pay them out? I was like, what? This doesn't make sense. So I said, can we do it by backs payment? Oh, yeah. So I just went into all the dealers and went, they've got rid of the checkbooks. Oh, really? Oh, I love the check. Yeah, I know. Well, it takes 4 days to clear. This will go straight in your account to be done anyway. All right. Okay, then. And I did it about a year or two ahead of anybody else. And I remember sitting in a regional meeting, and they said, right, we're going to take the checkbooks away. And all these sales guys are going, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's a business. And they went, John's done it over a year ago. It's like you're wasting time.
Well, it's like when we're selling cars, it's a numbers game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bums on seat sells cars. And I'm literally like, fingers on vision and us seeing dealers, numbers game.
Yeah, get them out in the test drive as well.
100%. And, you know, this driving round is not making anybody...
Absolutely.
You know, it's not helpful for anybody, not making, you know, business work. So yeah.
So, anything you'd like to add to today's interview? Anything?
No, I'm really pleased. Thank you very much for having me.
You've been great, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll watch it back.
We normally have one bit of advice.
I would probably say we have 4 core values. My favourite core value that I'd like to say is my bit of advice for everybody is, remember it's bigger than this. That's it. Just remember it's bigger than this.
And what was Jane's?
Focus on what you can control, don't get distracted by what you can't.
That's really good, because we've been doing a lot of work with our external salespeople, you know, because when something goes wrong, that's really powerful, because you have to let go of the things that you can't control.
This is absolutely... I put a post on LinkedIn this morning about my car with the paint, yeah? And it went absolutely bonkers on there.
How many impressions did you get?
Over 500,000. Over 500,000. And it's just like...
It's going to go even more viral.
Yeah,
if you've not seen it, John spilled a whole can of yellow paint in his brand new...
Range Rover, yeah. But it went mental. And... what was my point? My point was, we got in the background there, one of our new starters, Daniel, and he was with me, and he went, why are you so calm? He said, I can't believe how calm you are. And I said, it's out of my control. It's done. It is what it is.
See, now that's really funny, because I am, when I'm in the car with my husband, he honestly, like, gets angry at anything. You know, or anything, he'll just do that all the time. I go, why are you getting so angry? You know, be calm. But the more... You know, the more I do that passive aggressive, he gets even angrier. But when I saw your post with that yellow paint, I don't know if you agree, but I just imagine John spinning around somewhere, his head falling off like The Exorcist.
No,
but you were calm.
No, and again, that's something I've learned since I've been doing the compliance guys, is when it's out of your control, don't worry about it. Yeah. Don't care. Okay, so thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's been a great show. You've been fantastic. You really have. I know we said that once, but I'll say it again. And until next time, it's how it is.